Hey team, this is Dr. Michael McCarthy, and in this video we'll talk about how to input data and perform a basic linear regression. So here I have Alteryx Designer 64 opened, and I'm going to click New Workflow. And here I can have my canvas and my configuration workspace. So of course I'm going to start with inputting data, and I always put a browse function after that. The browse function helps us see what the output's going to be. And then the auto field will help us identify which fields are best for each of the input variables. I also want to make sure I get right to data cleaning. And after that, we'll take a quick look at the data with another browse function and kind of move that up and out of the way. So let me go ahead and start configuring the input. It's a file. I'm going to use house price. After I select my file, I want to make sure I configure the auto field. I come over here, make sure that I have at least one selected. Data cleansing, I want to make sure that everything is selected that I want. This is, you have to be careful about selecting too much here. I'm going to go ahead and run it with the green button. Let's take a quick look at the data. Oh, see here, this indicates bad quality data. This indicates bad quality data here. Let's see if anything else comes here. I can see what it was. Price came in as a string. It should come in as a numerical value. String indicates text. And over here in data cleansing, let's see what happened here. It's still coming in as text. The data cleansing process did not enable that. We can also transpose it using the select function. Here it allows me to change things. You can see right here, price is already set as a string, and I don't want that. But let's go ahead and see what we can do if we want to change it. Add a browse, of course. I want to change this to, let's see if we can get a fixed decimal. We'll run it. Oh, I see I have some errors or some things that I need to be worried about. So a fixed decimal will not work for the price. Let's see if we can get it as an integer 64. 64 is just the length, the size. You can see that if I start with byte, it goes to 1. Integer 62, we get 2. See if 64, it just keeps going up. Let's see if we can get it as an integer 64. Oh, and see there's some more issues here. It stopped converting because of the comma. So now I have a data cleansing problem, and what I'm going to do is take a closer look at my data. I'm going to open it up in Excel. And you can see this comma here, and this is where it's recognized as a string, so I can actually select all of it, format the cells. And I could bring it as a currency, or I'm going to bring it as a number, and this is where it's going to remove the comma. I'm going to go ahead and keep the 2 decimal places, even though I don't necessarily need them. I'm going to save this as a different number. I keep the original naming convention, but then I add an underscore v3. I click yes, because I want to save it as a comma separated variable. Excel always warns that. I always want to save it as I leave. Save. Now I have a new input, so I'm going to come over here and update my input. Version 3. And I'm going to make sure it's all the same configuration. I'm actually going to remove this one because I don't need it anymore, or I shouldn't need it. Let's take a look at our data. You can see price came to green. So now I have clean data coming in. Now I want to do a linear regression. Now there's lots of other things I need to do before I do linear regression, understanding my data, correlations, but now we're going to do a quick linear regression, and I just grab the linear regression. I'm going to add the browse function on each of them. Let me go and configure this. I'm going to call this price. Select the target variable as price. Select the fields. And remove price. Just have lot size. Then I'm going to run it. Took 25 seconds. So in our regression, you can see our lot size coefficient is positive 6.599, and it is statistically significant. This is an extremely small number. And the R squared is 0.28. That means that lot size explains 28.7% of the variance of the price. So that's it. This is a linear regression. Of course, there's a lot more to it, making sure our data and the variables going in aren't multicollinearity issues and whatnot, but this is the basics. I hope you understand it. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.